Bernard is like, okay, so on my Patreon, I'm not just saying it as a Patreon plug, it's actually I have something relevant to say about it. So I've been reviewing How Luxury Lost Its Luster on my Patreon, and just when you read through the book and you see all the just messed up things Bernard Arnault did, it's just so insane. Like the amount of people he stabbed in the back. He stabbed the Celine family in the back. He stabbed what's the designer that he stole from that brand to make his own namesake brand? Christian Lacroix. Yeah, he stabbed Christian Lacroix in the back. He stabbed
he's like
he stabbed the founders of LVMH. Literally, he stabbed the founders of LVMH in the back. He stabbed his own dad in the back. That guy does not have a heart.
It's stuff like, he'll secretly buy shares under someone else's name, so you don't know that he owns your company. And then one day you'll wake up and you realize he owns it. It's literally stuff like that.
No. Like literally, I've spoken about.
It's literally stuff like that.
Because it's all in the book. So, for example, like Racamier, who is a huge factor in like LVMH and literally started vertical integration in Louis Vuitton, he was fighting with one of the co-founders of LVMH for power over it. So he befriended Bernard Arnault because he thought that Bernard Arnault, was a good friend and would help him win the battle over one of the co-founders of LVMH. And then Bernard Arnault just saw that as an opportunity. Oh, I can just use this as an opportunity to overthrow both of you and just take over the company for myself, which is what he did. And that's what he does. Like he went to, I was saying that he did stab his own dad in the back. So with his dad, and it's all on Patreon, like I'm literally reviewing the book in real time. But with his dad, what happened was his dad owned this like construction company. And his dad had certain ideas about kind of the way he wanted to do business with a construction company because he wanted to own it. But Bernard Arnault thought that you can scale this company if we sell part of it, but then to a company that can scale it. So Bernard Arnault went behind his dad's back. Remember, his dad owned the company. He went behind his dad's back and did the deal. And then he asked for his dad's approval when the deal had already been signed anyway. So his dad just like, because when you've worked for something your whole life and your son just like messes it up, you almost have like shock. His dad was almost like in a state of shock, and he just like gave all the power to Bernard because it's just like, what do I do now? Like literally, he's messed up my life's work,
bro. So it's a Bernard Lannister. That's so funny.
It was literally one of those like, well, he's messed up my life's work, so I might as well just give the rest of it to him. And that is like with the Celine situation. So Celine Vapiana and Celine's husband, Bernard Arnault promised them that, okay, after I buy your brand, I'll still give you creative control and I'll allow you to do what you want to do and blah, blah, blah. Then he just bought the brand and then just like sacked them and just told them they're not allowed to work for the brand anymore.
Insane.
That guy has no moral compass. It doesn't exist. His moral compass is literally...
anything to be the richest person in the world, isn't it?
But that was his goal. So, he achieved his goal. That was his goal. When you watch the Kingdom of Dreams documentary, he said it. He said he wants to be the richest man in the world.
No, actually, he said, I just want LVMH to be the biggest company that the world has ever seen.
What's the difference?
AKA, I want to be the richest person in the world. No, but I find it funny that he masked it under that as if like he said it as if there's a difference. Because the woman was like, so is it that you want to be the richest person in the world? And he's like, no, I don't want to be the richest. I just want LVMH to be the biggest ever. And it's like, well, that's the same thing.
But yeah, like Bernard is crazy, man. Like and the thing is, I'd read the book before, but because I read it so long ago, reading it again, and I'm reading it a lot more deeply because I have to review it on Patreon. So I'm reading this stuff like, damn, this guy is just
Do
something
you think
else.
though, when you see someone, let's say you're like not in this close circle, but you're a colleague, when you see someone do that kind of business to so many different people, do you think you can even really trust them like that?
No. If I was a businessman, I could not trust Bernard Arnault with a 10-foot pole. I literally can't trust him with anything. He is not a trustworthy person. He will stab you at the back the moment he gets the opportunity. It wouldn't even be in my circle. If I was like a rich billionaire or whatever in like those circles, I would not trust him at all. And
It's
then,
interesting as well.
do you know the funniest thing about Bernard Arnault, actually, more than anything else, is the fact that when people give him a taste of his own medicine, he gets so pissed off. Like when,
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've
Bernard
seen that.
Arnault, up until the point, and it's also in the How Luxury Lost Its Luster book, but up until the point that he wanted to buy Gucci, every single thing had gone his way. He had been able to overthrow anyone that was in his way, take over any company that he wanted to, and then it comes to Gucci, and finally he gets competition because Domenico De Sole and Tom Ford did
Yeah,
not want Bernard Arnault to have any parts of it. So much so that they collaborated with Francois Pinault, who had nothing to do with fashion, was
yeah,
not from a
yeah,
fashion background. And that's literally how, obviously, eventually they formed Kering.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Or the
but
Gucci group at the time.
yeah,
The
or the
Gucci group.
Gucci group and then Kering. But all of it was under his actual company, which is like Francois Pinault, Prin
Mm,
Corp or something like that. Um, but it's just funny that when Francois Pinault finally stole Gucci from Bernard, he
yeah.
was mad. He was like going into the press
Fuming,
saying,
bro.
I can't believe I thought he was my friend. How dare he steal this brand? And I'm like, are you serious? Bernard Arnault is saying, I thought he was my friend. Do you know how many of your so-called friends you stabbed in the back? You stabbed your family members in the back. You have no leg to stand on.
Do you think he'll be full circle then if, one of his children just swipe, somehow swipe it all, swipe
I think,
LVMH?
I actually think it would be amazing if one of his kids did what he did to his dad, where they do some crazy deal behind his back and they steal LVMH from him. That would be the icing on the damn cake. That would be so amazing, honestly. That would be like amazing.
I think, to be fair, what is actually quite interesting is when you look into how he's like divvied up what each child's role is within LVMH. I do find that quite
My
interesting.
money's
Like,
on Delphine.
it sounds like it's literally a Greek myth. Yeah, legit, legit.
Who are Bernard Arnault's true friends? I don't think he has true friends. I'm not gonna lie.
His
I don't
kids,
think
his
he has
kids are
true
his true
friends. He
friends,
just has
man.
kids, and people that work for him.
His kids are his true friends, and like CEOs like Michael Burke and them, man.
Because I don't know if those people like at that level actually have real friends. They might be around loads of rich people that they have dinner with and all these rich families they have, but they're not friends. They're just all rich as hell, so they all just hang about with each other. But Bernard is not someone you can be friends with. He's not like the
I mean, to be
friendship
fair, he
type.
he had a wedding not long ago, and Bearman turned up.
Of course, because he's Bernard Arnault. Of course, the people turned up.
I think
I'm
even
sure he
flipping
has a
Kanye
pet
went.
named Euro.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's so funny.
Like the man, like someone said, he literally runs France. Like, of course, people are going to turn up. He basically controls damn near everything. Do you know how many companies like he controls? If they don't turn up to his wedding, he might get pissed off and then be like, "Okay, we're not going to pay you guys any advertising revenue. That's it." Of course, they're going to go to the wedding.
What I find mad as well is like, when you are that powerful and you own that much stuff, when the LVMH stock goes down by like 1%, his net worth drops by like 30 billion or something ridiculous. Like, like